Welcome to Mr. InfoPoints. Today we are going to talk about one of the most dangerous, costly, and surprisingly common problems happening every single day across American roads. It's an issue that most people underestimate until the moment their life changes in an instant. And that problem is seat belt violation, choosing to drive or ride without the simplest, fastest, cheapest, and most effective life-saving tool ever invented for vehicles. You might think this doesn't sound as dramatic as drunk driving, speeding, or distracted driving. But in reality, failing to buckle up is one of the most common factors found in fatal crashes across the United States. It's an action so small, yet the consequences can be enormous. In fact, it's something that can determine whether a crash becomes a minor inconvenience or the last moment of someone's life. And yet, despite decades of education, laws, statistics, and tragic stories, millions of people still hit the road every day without clicking that simple belt across their chest. Let's start by imagining a simple moment. You hop into your car, maybe in a hurry, maybe running late, maybe thinking, it's just a quick trip, I'll be fine. Maybe you're only going around the corner, picking up food, heading to the gas station, driving to school, or running a small errand. You tell yourself nothing will happen. The road looks clear. The weather seems normal. Your car feels safe. You feel confident. And then, out of nowhere, someone coming from the opposite direction drifts into your lane. Maybe they were texting. Maybe they were speeding. Maybe they just didn't notice the light had turned red. In that split second, your life goes from normal to chaos. Your body lunges forward with the force of thousands of pounds of pressure. Without a seatbelt, nothing holds you in place. Your head hits the steering wheel. Your chest hits the dashboard. Your body is thrown into the windshield. Or worse, you're ejected from the car entirely, flying into the street because nothing kept you inside the vehicle. This is the reality of seatbelt violations. The crash itself may last only a second or two, but the injuries, trauma, medical bills, and consequences can continue for months, years, or even a lifetime. And the sad part is this: in most cases, the injuries would not have happened, or would have been dramatically reduced, if the driver or passenger had simply buckled up. In the United States, seat belts have been mandatory in vehicles for decades. And yet, every single year, tens of thousands of people die in crashes, and nearly half of them were not wearing a seat belt. That means thousands of people would still be alive today if they had taken 2 seconds to click that strap. 2 seconds. That's all it takes to prevent being thrown from your seat, to prevent hitting your head on the interior of the car, to prevent internal injuries, broken bones, spinal damage, brain trauma, or death. It is the smallest action with the largest possible impact. Now let's talk about why people don't wear seat belts. For some, it's a habit issue. They grew up without seat belts being enforced. They think they're good drivers. They think accidents happen to other people. Some people complain the belt feels uncomfortable. Some say it wrinkles their clothes. Some say they're only traveling a short distance and don't need it. Some passengers in the back seat think they are safe without it. Some teenagers think it looks uncool. Some adults simply forget. Others believe myths like airbags will protect them even without a seatbelt, or that sitting in the back makes them safe. But every single one of these excuses disappears the moment an accident happens. Airbags, for example, are not designed to work alone. They are designed to work with seatbelts. An airbag without a seatbelt can actually cause serious injuries because the airbag deploys with explosive force. Without the belt holding the body back, a person can slam into an airbag at high speed, causing neck injuries, spinal injuries, or even suffocation. Sitting in the back seat is not safer without a belt. In fact, unbelted back seat passengers are often thrown forward during a crash, injuring themselves and seriously injuring the people sitting in front of them. A back seat passenger without a seatbelt becomes a human projectile, slamming into the driver or front passenger with deadly force. And traveling short distances does not reduce risk. Most fatal crashes happen within 25 miles of home. Let's look at the legal consequences. Every U.S. state has laws requiring seatbelts for drivers, and almost all require them for passengers. In many states, police can pull you over specifically for not wearing a seatbelt. This is called a primary law. In other states, they may add the violation when pulling you over for something else, a secondary law. Either way, Fines can range from $25 to several $100s depending on the state, and costs increase if children are unbelted. A child not properly restrained can lead to expensive tickets, mandatory court appearances, points on your license, and even potential child endangerment charges in severe situations. Insurance rates can increase. A simple ticket becomes a long-term financial burden. And all of this for something you could avoid by taking 2 seconds to buckle up. But the legal consequences are nothing compared to what happens in real crashes. Consider the physics. A person traveling at 40 miles per hour is carrying the same energy as falling off a 5-story building. That energy must go somewhere. With a seatbelt, your body slows down with the vehicle, spreading forces across the stronger parts of your body. Without a seatbelt, your body keeps moving forward at the same speed until it hits something: the wheel, the windshield, a seat, or the road itself. The result is often fatal. And even in survived crashes, injuries are far more severe without a belt. Now let's imagine a few real-world scenarios. Picture a father driving his 2 children to school. He's going only 10 minutes down the road. He buckles up, but the kids in the back are arguing, playing, distracted, and he forgets to check their belts. A truck suddenly turns left across his lane. The crash happens instantly. The father survives with minor injuries because he buckled up. But the children, unrestrained in the back seat, are launched forward. One hits the back of the front seat. The other is thrown into the windshield. What should have been a simple school day becomes a nightmare of hospital visits, surgeries, trauma, and emotional devastation. And it all could have been prevented. Or consider a teenager who refuses to buckle up because he thinks he's invincible or because he's only driving with friends in the neighborhood. A small mistake, taking a turn too fast, glancing at a text message, hitting a pothole, sends the car spinning. Without a seatbelt, he's ejected through the side window. The majority of people ejected from vehicles die on scene. Those who survive often face catastrophic injuries like paralysis, permanent disability, or disfigurement. Now imagine a rear-end crash. Many people believe seatbelts aren't necessary in low-speed impacts. But even in slow collisions, the belt prevents your body from snapping forward violently. Whiplash, head injuries, and broken facial bones are common when the upper body is thrown forward. The belt keeps your body aligned and prevents your head from crashing into the steering wheel or dashboard. Let's talk about the cost, not just in medical bills but in emotional and financial terms. When someone is injured because they didn't wear a seatbelt, the burden doesn't fall only on them. Their family suffers. Their children suffer. Hospitals, emergency services, insurance companies, and sometimes taxpayers all absorb the cost. A seatbelt violation seems small, but its impact can be massive. Medical treatments can cost tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. Time away from work can drain savings. A permanent injury can change everything from job opportunities to mobility to mental health. And then there is the emotional trauma. Survivors of crashes often feel overwhelming guilt. Drivers who crash with unbelted passengers often blame themselves. Parents who lose children in crashes caused by lack of restraints carry lifelong emotional pain. Families are torn apart by tragedies that were entirely preventable. Now let's talk about the role of law enforcement. Police officers in the United States respond to thousands of crash scenes every year. They see the difference seat belts make with their own eyes. They see the survivors and the fatalities. They know that the people who walk away from crashes almost always have one thing in common. They were wearing a seatbelt. This is why many police departments conduct seat belt enforcement campaigns. They're not trying to generate revenue, they are trying to prevent tragedies. The psychology behind seat belt violation is interesting. Most people don't refuse to wear seat belts because they don't believe in safety. They refuse because they believe in luck. They think bad things happen to other people. They think they can predict the road. They think they can control every variable. But the road is unpredictable. You cannot control other drivers. You cannot control sudden weather changes. You cannot control blown tires, mechanical failures, or debris on the road. A seatbelt is your backup plan. It is the one thing that protects you when everything else goes wrong. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Seatbelts are not just about you, they protect everyone in the vehicle. When you are unbelted, your body becomes a danger to others in the car. In a crash, you can slam into the driver or other passengers with deadly force. If you are in the back seat and unbelted, you can injure or kill the person sitting in front of you even if they are buckled up. So not wearing a seatbelt is not just a personal choice. It is a threat to everyone in the vehicle. But here's the good news. Seatbelts work. They save an estimated 15,000 lives every year in the United States alone. They reduce the risk of fatal injury by nearly 50% in cars and up to 60% in trucks and SUVs. They keep you in place, reduce the impact forces on your body, prevent ejection, and help airbags do their job. When you buckle up, you increase your chance of surviving a crash dramatically. So what's the solution? Awareness, education, responsibility, making seatbelts non-negotiable for yourself, your family, and anyone who rides with you. Always buckle up before the engine starts. Always check children's restraints. Always insist that every passenger is buckled. No exceptions, no excuses, not even on short trips. The habit takes 2 seconds but can save you from a lifetime of regret. And to every viewer watching this, your life matters. Your safety matters. The people who love you want you to come home safely. A seatbelt is not just a strap, it is a life-saving tool. It is a promise you make to your family, to yourself, and to everyone on the road that you value your life and theirs. In the end, seatbelt violations are not just about breaking the law, they are about risking everything for nothing. You never know when the unexpected will happen. You never know when someone else will make a mistake. You never know when those 2 seconds you saved by not buckling up will cost you your future. So be responsible, be smart, be safe, protect yourself. Protect your loved ones. And always remember, the road is unpredictable, but your safety doesn't have to be. Subscribe to the channel for more facts, real stories, and practical guidance that can save lives. Together, one slow, sensible mile at a time. This has been Mr. InfoPoints. We aim to inform, to change behavior, and to save lives through clear facts, real stories, and practical guidance. Drive responsibly, stay alert, and protect not only yourself but everyone sharing the road with you. Arriving safely is always the most important destination. Stay awake, stay vigilant, and we will meet again in our next episode with another vital topic that affects everyday life.